Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to another, let me get Joe in here. Welcome to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk.
Absolutely. And we got a phenomenal guest tonight on the show. But before we begin, I definitely want everybody to say a prayer for Jeff Monin. I know after this storm that just went through, he's still without electricity. That's why you have me, the employee of the month, here to fill in for him. But if everybody can say a little prayer for Jeff and his wife, that they get a power back on really, really soon. Thank you, folks.
Yes, for sure. And for you folks who don't know who this gentleman is next to me, it's my good buddy Joey B, Joe Busy, and he helps here in the shop on Saturday, and he'll be here this Saturday for Mind Lab Days, October 5th special event. We're going to have all kinds of Mind Lab specials going on, and it's going to be a good time. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area, it'll be worth your trip in for sure. And yes, please keep Jeff in your prayers. He does an awesome job on here. I'm filling in, doing the technical part, so that's why it looked a little bumpy on the way in. Didn't it, Joe?
You started the beginning twice, but it worked out.
It worked out.
Figured you hit the wrong button.
Yes, it worked out. So anyway, as always, today's show was brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And of course, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here belong to by the Treasure Talk guest or member, belong to the Treasure Talk guest or member, not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Joe Beasy, or I don't have to say Jeff Monin, or Myers Metal Detectors. And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of treasure hunting and metal detecting, treasure hunting in all forms, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And I do want to remind you folks that we do have the special event this Saturday at the shop, Mind Lab Days, and Debbie will be here from Mind Lab. We're going to have all kinds of specials, so be sure to check us out there. And then, of course, on Monday night, I'll do another reminder of this. We're going to be giving away a Mind Lab Elite metal detector, too. Debbie will be our guest. And she was one of Jeff and my first guests on Treasure Talk when we started this. And I think it's been almost 5 years that we started this show. So be sure to check us out next Monday, too.
Yeah, she actually was generous enough to donate 2 metal detectors. Saturday, we're going to be giving away the Xterra Elite Expedition Pack that comes with the 2 coils and the wireless headphones. That's going to be done at the shop on Saturday. And then on the show on Monday, we're going to be giving away the Xterra Elite, just the regular one, for everybody that's going to be tuned in for that show. Correct, Phil?
That's right. It's going to be a good time at both on the show and at the shop. So, did I have to mention anything else, Joe?
I think you've touched on everything.
Not at all. Okay. Well, we've got a couple of exciting guests here, and they're in an exciting place. And of course, tonight's show is our memorial to Captain Carl Fismer. And for you folks who didn't know him, he was just been an awesome, I shouldn't call him a relic, but an awesome treasure hunter for many years. I've known him for a long time through our Tampa Metal Detecting Club, the West State Archaeological Society. And he always spoke all different treasure hunting clubs, I know all over the state. And he was just an awesome speaker and treasure hunter. I can't say enough good things about him. But we have that's our memorial show today. And also we have Fred Banky. And of course, for you guys who don't know him, that's 2 of his books. He's got some other ones, but I just got 2 here in my hand. And Fred is an awesome treasure hunter too, and he's written books on the Treasure Coast. And today he's at, well, I'll let Fred tell us where he's at. So ready to bring him on?
Yes, sir. Let's bring Fred Banky and his
Hi.
sidekick.
Sidekick. There you
Pirate
go.
sidekick.
There you go. And you have to talk like a pirate too, Fred.
Hi, all right then. So we're here at the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, and next to me is Matt Frick, and he's the curator and historian for the museum. And Matt's going to take a few minutes and tell us all about this beautiful museum. I've had a tour of the museum today, and it is fantastic. And Matt will give you some of the history and tell you all about the artifacts that are here.
Cool. Let's hear it, Matt.
Well, this museum was started initially down in Key West from 2005 to 2010 by the owner, Pat Croce, who spent 4 decades collecting the over 800 artifacts that are inside the museum. He first fell in love with pirates when he watched Captain Blood with his father. And when he got money, he started collecting things. So he was able to open up a museum down in Key West. But when he discovered this location across from the Castillo de San Marcos in the nation's oldest city, he thought this is the perfect place for it. So all the lessons learned from down in Key West went into building this place and creating the interactive museum that we have with artifacts and then treasure. Many things are that we have additionally are on loan as well. So some of the Atosha artifacts and stuff are on loan to us so that we could add there. We have things that are on loan from the Florida Division of Historical Florida Division of Historical Research. And so as part of, as you treasure hunters know, when you do salvage something from the bottom, a percentage goes to the state. And so they probably got a warehouse like Raiders of the Lost Ark at the end, right, with all this treasure and everything else that was in there. Well, they've loaned some of those artifacts to us, including many gold coins and gold leaf and some other things like that. So that just adds to it. That's why it's not just the Pirate Museum, it's the Pirate and Treasure Museum. But all of the treasure that we have is located on what we term Shipwreck Island. That's the name of the exhibit room where it is. Otherwise, we have different areas that talk about the golden age of piracy. And it's really immersive where when you walk in, you're in Port Royal, Jamaica in the year 1690. So 2 years before the earthquakes, you're safe. But we have maps, navigation equipment, swords, cutlasses, pistols in there, some medical equipment. And so you get to learn about what it was like, say, going through Port Royal. Then there's Rogue's Tavern. We have an electronic book of pirates. We get to read about 10 of the most famous pirates in the golden age of piracy. And then you head to the main deck, a ship's wheel you could turn. The captain's cabin has one of only 3 actual Jolly Rogers that are left in the world. The other ones are in England and in Finland for it. So we've got one of them. And it was found by Art McKee, who, if any of you know the history of the underwater treasure salvage, then you know that name, Art McKee. And that's actually who Carl Fismer learned treasure diving from. He went down specifically to learn that. So we'll learn a little bit about that in a moment. But the beauty of the museum is the immersiveness. So it's not just tables here, glass case here. It really is, you walk in and the displays, there's we have some not really wax, but figures like that of creations of some like Robert Searles or Francis Drake. We've got a piece of wood from one of Sir Francis Drake's ships that was found by Pat Croce when he led an expedition down in Panama. So we've got a piece of wood from there. You really can learn a whole lot about pirates and the way they actually lived. We've got broadsides from that were pasted on walls and handed out during hangings of pirates. So everything's real too, and that's the beauty of it. We've got a logbook from the HMS Advice that was written by Lieutenant Thomas Longish that it describes and really puts out when Captain William Kidd was taken from after being arrested in Boston, when the HMS Advice took him to London, where he was put in prison at Newgate, stayed there for 2 years, given a trial, given 3 weeks to prepare for a trial, found innocent of one charge, guilty of another, and he was hanged. And so, and of course, he is kind of the creation of buried treasure, the idea of it, because he did actually bury some treasure. So now everybody thinks all pirates buried treasure. Not exactly the case. In his case, he did it so that he could get money after he was released, what he thought was going to happen, so he'd have money to live on afterwards. But otherwise, pirates didn't do it. Some people would do it for a short period of time for a specific reason, just for safety, and then it would be divvied out because pirates spent all their money. So a lot of times when you do find the coins, a lot of people say, is that a pirate coin that you're wearing? Well, not really. Pirates spent everything. So these might have been what the pirates wanted, and that's what they were going after. And of course, we know that all happened. Shipwrecks happened, and that's why there are treasure salvers out there that go and they collect all this stuff. But it's a great experience when you come through the museum, especially if you get a chance to go on one of the tours that we have occasionally or something. You could find a little bit even extra stuff, but there's so much to read and then see. And so you really get to learn the truth about pirates. And it's not all, Johnny Depp, even though we do have a room called Hollywood Pirates. And so that will show you kind of where some of the myths of pirates came from the movies in Hollywood. And so it's kind of a celebration of the popularity of pirates, if you will, because of Hollywood's input. So,
okay. Well,
you also have artifacts from Carl from Fizz.
Yes, we have a clump from the Taj Mahal sunken treasure that went down. The coins are from 1702, and so that's when the wreck happened on the Great Bass's Reef off of Ceylon, which is now Sri Lanka. And in 1960, when Arthur C. Clarke was going to film a documentary of the Great Bass's Reef, his filmmaker took 2 boys from the American embassy in Ceylon who were also qualified divers, but they were just snorkeling along the top, and they were age 13 and 14. And when they saw the sun shining down, they were looking for a place to get their camera equipment in because it's like a series of caves almost on that reef, very treacherous. You can only get out there really about 3 months out of the year, and that's not even consecutive. Because of the monsoon seasons and everything, and the currents going through the reef. So they saw what looked like a bronze cannon. So they put on aqualungs at the time, went down, and they found that it in fact was a bronze cannon. They weren't aware of any wrecks that were down there, but then they saw silver circles all around. And so they gathered up what they could, sent it to the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., where the nautical archaeologist there, Mendel Peterson, identified those as Indian rupees from 1702. And the date is clearly marked on the coins as well, written in 111 in a 3. So it's written in Farsi because that was the language of India at the time. And so the reason it's called the Taj Mahal sunken treasure is because these were minted under the rule of Shah Aurangzeb, who was the last Grand Mughal of India, and his father was. His father was Shah Jahan, who's the man that built the Taj Mahal. So easier to say the Taj Mahal sunken treasure than a wreck we found by accident. So, but they were able to go down 2 years after that. So in 1962. Backtrack. 61 they found it. 63 they went down, but they waited 2 years. They were going to go the next year, but Arthur Clarke came down with polio, so they wanted him to be able to learn to dive with his new condition. They went down 1963 and they gathered the clumps and everything that they could get, and so they went back 2 years after that, 1965, and everything was gone. There was nothing there. So did they collect everything that was on that wreck, or did the currents and monsoons and everything wash it all away? So that might have been the case as well. So they were able to recover 10 coin clumps, 2,495 loose coins. And so the clumps, one was given to Mendel Peterson, and then another to Arthur Clarke had one. And so there's another one that's in private hands. I don't know actually who has that, but so we've got one of the three. And so the remaining 7 were put on display at a museum in Sri Lanka. They got hit by a tsunami in 2004, and the sea claimed all of them back. So we have the only Taj Mahal coins that are left, and then we sell them. And earlier this year, since we had sold everything that we had that were loose coins, I brought the clump down to Carl Fismer, and then he had a chunk of it taken out, and then the coins separated and cleaned up and everything. So we've got the only coins left in the world from that wreck that you can purchase at the museum.
Thanks. That's great.
All righty. Well, I'm having a little difficulty because I can't remember how to do the live giveaway, Fred. So I know we're doing it.
Should I go ahead and read the tribute to?
Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Okay. I'll read that, and this is just me reading his books and putting a little bit of history about Captain Fizz together here. So, in Captain Fizz's own words, in 1980, I founded the Spanish Main Treasure Company. I worked over 300 shipwrecks around the world, including United States, Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, the Indian Ocean, and Central and South America. During that time, I've recovered millions of dollars of gold, silver, jewels, and other artifacts. But first, let me start at the beginning. So, Carl Fismer was born in 1938 and raised in Hamilton, Ohio, where his parents operated the Lyric Theater as a movie theater at the time. In 1948, at 10 years old, he was working 2 jobs and he got his Social Security card. He worked at a bowling alley setting up pins by hand for 10 cents a game, and he should have got hazardous duty pay for that. That would be a dangerous job. And then he also worked at a butcher shop. His least favorite job was scrubbing the wooden chopping blocks that the butchers used. During this time, Carl's father passed away, and people in the neighborhood started calling him Fizz. So this is how he got his name, Fizz. In the following years, his mother remarried, and Fizz did not like or get along with his stepfather. After barely graduating, he thought he would teach them a lesson, so he joined the Army. His basic training was in Fort Knox, and about 2.5 years later, he was stationed in Okinawa with the 503rd Regimental Combat Team. And he was also stationed with one of his friends from high school there. And from there, he returned to the U.S. and separated from the Army. After working, he went back to Ohio, and after working at General Motors in Fairfield, Ohio for 9 years, he moved to Sarasota, Florida in 1970. And with a bit of luck and a lot of persistence, at the age of 33, he got a job with the Sarasota Fire Department. And the reason the age of 33 is important because they quit hiring you after you're 32 years old, and they waived it because he was so persistent and he wanted that job real bad, and the chief of the fire department hired him. So this is when he started his wreck diving. His first boat, according to Carl, was a 19-foot piece of crap with a Chrysler engine. Fizz's first underwater listening device was called an ear. It was a lead pipe with a microphone inserted in it, connected to an amplifier and a speaker. He would drag this across the sandy bottom, making a loud noise if it hit the rocks or metallic objects. The only problem with that was that it would pick up the local radio stations. He described this as a poor man's magnetometer. While he was still working at the fire department, he now had his part-time diving business. In 1980, Fizz went on to start the Spanish Main Treasure Company. He worked on the 1733 fleet using his first underwater metal detector, which cost at that time $4,000. Huge, big investment. Problem with that was he'd have to pump air into it. And if he saw air bubbles coming out while he's underwater, he'd have to rapidly go to the surface and get the thing out of the water and pump more air in. In 1981, he worked on the 1715 fleet on a boat called the Wasp, and it was owned by D.L. Caney. And working with him was John Berrier. In 11 days, they recovered 300 reals, 6 escudos, and some bronze, silver, pewter, and lead artifacts. In 1983, they brought up 1,553 reals, 12 escudos, gold jewelry, a bronze sword hilt, and several artifacts. During this time, DL, he had suffered a heart attack and passed away, and Johnny and Fizz partnered on the Wasp and took over the Wasp, bought the Wasp. In 1984, they recovered 2,643 reals, and in his words, a truckload of artifacts. In 1986, Fizz was awarded a diving contract in the Dominican Republic, recovering hundreds of reals and artifacts. They dove known wrecks, and which was handy, and they were using modern electronic equipment, and they were recovering hundreds of items that other people had missed. In I think I missed a page here. In 1996, brought disaster. He lost the Wasp during a hurricane, and another boat, the Time Ranger, was damaged. They managed to save a bunch of Haitians from drowning, and during that event, Fizz suffered a broken arm. He went on to dive many more wrecks, some of which were English ships, the William and Mary, the Triton, Three Sisters, and Princess Charlotte. Fizz was a star in the TV show Treasure Divers. He appeared on Porn Stars a few times, and he was featured in many articles. He kept busy giving numerous slide presentations, talks on treasure finding, book signings, and he was always willing to find time to help people and give his time. Fizz was involved in the 1715 Fleet Society's 300th anniversary commemoration, which was held July 2015 in Vero Beach, which I had the pleasure of attending and seeing Fizz do his presentations there. Captain Fizz was awarded the Mel Fisher Lifetime Achievement Award. While preparing this dedication, I talked to Nicole, Mel Fisher's granddaughter, and the Fisher family have many fond memories of Captain Fizz, his sense of humor, and his stories. They know their statement was they know he's up there somewhere swapping stories with Mel. Of all the things in Fizz's life, the only thing he feared was Congress, and he was a true patriot. You can learn more about Captain Fizz in actually his 3 books, Uncharted Waters, Man Overboard, and The Ranger. Time Ranger. Now, at the museum here, we're going to give away 3 books tonight, and Cindy here, she actually gave us some signed copies. that you can still buy signed copies of Fizz's books here at the museum. And you can contact the museum
904
904
819
819
1444.
1444. So if you could possibly put that up on the screen, Phil, that would be great. I don't know if that's possible.
Yes,
That's an impossibility.
Is it an impossibility? Can you do it, Joe?
No, I don't have that on my end. I can't even touch the comment and put it on the screen.
Okay, I will put it on the Treasure Talk Facebook page tomorrow. That phone number, and I've during the day today. I've taken several pictures of the museum, inside the museum, and I'm going to put all of those pictures so that you guys can see what the museum's about. All of those pictures will be on the Facebook page tomorrow with this phone number.
Okay, well,
And then I missed a little bit. I believe I thought I had a little bit more information for you here. I guess not. But Fizz was a person you wanted to be around and listen to his stories. And I think anybody that knows him loved his stories. And there are a few people in my life whom I have crossed paths with who I consider a national treasure. And Captain Fizz is one of those people.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to just finish saying I salute you, Captain Fizz, and thank him for his service. And from one pirate to another, I salute you.
Thank you.
absolutely. I salute him too. I did want to show, I showed Fred this earlier. Captain Fizz had given me one of his early detectors. And I believe Ricky T told me this is actually a Garrett detector, an old one. He says he has several of them, but it doesn't work with the speaker. It was used for diving, and when you came across metal, it would take and vibrate. So you wear that underneath your dive suit. So that's a cool artifact, I think. Early metal detecting technology for sure. And it looks like I think we'll try to give away one of those books. Is that okay, Fred?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, I should have wrote down the directions from this. I'll have to chat with Jeff later, but I think I've managed to get it. And we're going to start collecting comments. And the comment is #CaptFizz.
And you have to type it in the comment exactly like it shows.
Exactly like that.
Yes.
If it's not going to collect it and do it. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can do what I'm supposed to do on my end here, because I haven't done it in so long I forgot how to do it. So hopefully we'll get
It's
it.
perfect.
Yes, it does for sure. And hopefully we'll get it done. Everybody be sure to make it #CaptFizz. And I have met, like I said earlier, I met Captain Fizz at the West State Archaeological Society, and he just was an awesome speaker. Had many treasure stories to talk about, and I thought one of the funniest one was when I asked him live on this program, which rum, Captain Morgan or not Seagram's,
Bacardi.
and he said yes. So I guess he liked them both. So
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to meet Captain Fizz quite a few times through the club, the Tampa club. So he was a great guy. He was funny as a hoot. Always had stories to tell. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
Matt here, he's been friends with Fizz for several years, and he got to go diving with him. Was it last year? Or?
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't dive with Fizz because he had gotten sick, and so he was not able to go out. But he owned a boat called the Pandion C16, and they have been currently diving on the Sandy Point wreck. And so I got a chance to go out there with the other owners, Mark Littleton and Bradley Williamson. And so I got to dive. And so I got to learn, how to dive with a hookah rig down underwater with a metal detector, and unfortunately the visibility was absolutely horrible and it deteriorated very quickly. So it gave me an idea of like really how difficult it is to do the underwater treasure salvage. And so kudos to Fizz for doing it for so long and doing it so well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So are we ready to try to give away one of the books?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I hope I can figure this out. You can do it.
Do you want me to hold up a book so they know what they're going to win?
Oh, is it showing the people? Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's working. It's working. So.
I got a winner.
And we got winner, chicken dinner, Mark Watrous.
I can't believe I did that. So, Mark Waltrus, you need to, as Jeff would do here, there we go. You need to email the treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. And we'll get the email sent over. Fred, are you sending those out?
Oh, yes, sir. I'll send them out for you.
Yeah, okay. Please include your address, your first, last name, your address, so that when we forward that email over to Fred, he can get that book over to you.
And Mark, congratulations. You just won the Time Ranger.
Time Ranger. That's a good book. I have that one myself at home. Now, Fred, you had mentioned to me, did you wanted to put a phone number? What did we want to put up on the screen?
The phone number for the museum here.
Okay. All right. What is that?
It is 904
904
819
819
1444
1444.
And I'd encourage everybody, if you want to learn more about Captain Fizz, buy these books because there's just a limited amount that are still signed by him.
Yes, grab that quick. At the Metal Detecting Club, I bought mine right from Captain Fizz, and he, of course, he autographed it. So buy that for sure. And I'm going to add that banner. Did I get that? I guess I'll wait. I got to hide that one and add that. There we go.
Good job.
Make sure I got that number right.
That's right.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And let's keep going with the comments. If you have any questions to get on here, be sure to do so.
I do have a little story to tell about Captain Fizz.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of person he was. I call fearless because in 1988 he dove the St. Joseph off of Panama, recovering 88 bronze cannons and hundreds of silver coins. They were working in challenging waters. The tidal changes were 18 feet. So you can imagine the current with tidal changes at 18 feet. And the water was covered with thousands of poisonous sea snakes.
Oh, my gosh.
The problem was it was mating season for them, which made these horny things very aggressive. And there are Fizz's words there. So he still had to go diving with these snakes in the water. So he was working out of a small rubber boat. He would wait until a wave crashed against the boat and create a little gap between the snakes while they're on the surface. And he would jump in and go down real fast. And he would do the same thing when he was running low on air. He would look up like we would look up for jellyfish when we're diving. He would look up for snakes, see a gap in the surface, and he would get out of the water in record time. This lasted a whole week. And this is a phenomenon that I witnessed in the Tonkin Gulf off of Vietnam. Thousands of sea snakes on the surface of the water. It's an amazing thing that he did that, and he did that for a whole week diving.
Yeah, he was involved in a lot of treasure recovery. Go ahead, Joe.
Fred, there's a question here from Moose in New York, is there a website for the Pirate Museum?
Yes, it's thepiratemuseum.com. So
Did you get that, Moose in New York? Thepiratemuseum.com.
so just all strung together.
Yes. One word.
Yeah.
Well,
So
three words stuck together.
one word. The Pirate Museum. Perfect. So tell us some of the coolest treasure you have there at the museum.
One of my, as far as treasure, the Taj Mahal sunken treasure, just because of the uniqueness, the story of it, connection to like Arthur C. Clarke, and then of course to Captain Fismer. That was one of his favorites too, as well. We have some things that are on loan from the Atocha, so it's kind of neat to see some of that. Not a lot of coins, but even like a big silver bar, and we've got a gold bar. So take your pick your poison, but some other neat artifact or some coins that we've got. So it's just really neat to see the difference between the gold escudos and the silver reals and the condition of some of the reals. It's almost like paper thin wafers on some. Some are really shiny and clear, and others just kind of smeared out. So you get an idea that when you recover something like this, or at least as people are going through the museum, that it's not like you're not getting a perfect coin necessarily on them. And so some of the silver though would clump together, the gold wouldn't. So it's they all look brilliant. All of the gold does.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Well, guys, I had hit the button to do the second drawing. We just have 2 drawings, right? Right, Fred?
Three books.
Oh, we got 3. Maybe the next one I'll do it a little. I'll figure out how to get it on the screen in time. But it looks like our winner is Shannon Bortner. Q.
Congratulations, Shannon. You just won a book called Man Overboard.
Man Overboard. And let me go back to the banner. And there's the email to send all your information, your mailing address to. treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. And then we'll put back the Pirate Museum and we'll stop sharing the screen. Perfect. Boy, I'm learning something new every day.
You're doing good, Phil.
I'm working it. Jeff is such a pro because he does this every week, and I certainly miss him for sure. He does a good job, an awesome job on it, and he knows how to keep all these things going at the same time. So I guess the other question I have is, what is the most unique thing you have there in the museum? What you would consider?
We have there's a few different things. My personal opinion, I think the most unique thing that we have is the logbook from the HMS Advice, because there's only one of those, and its connection to history, especially with Captain William Kidd's history, because it is the no kidding handwritten ship's log that's in there. So, I mean, there's each day there's something. The weather is calm. The speed of the ship was this. And so I mean, it's very detailed and it's written beautifully. In the cursive kind of handwriting that was done back there. But I would say my personal favorite, and it drove me to do a lot of research and write a book afterwards, is the treasure chest that belonged to Thomas Tew. It is the only actual pirate treasure chest, meaning it's the only one that we know that has provenance to a specific pirate. So if you found a chest, we've got another chest that's like it. It's a Rotterdam chest. So it's metal, heavy, very large. It's over 400 years old. It was probably close to that when Thomas Tew got it in the first place. But it's Spanish painting that's on it, and that's beautiful because cleaned it, wiped it down just with with a soft cloth, and that stuff's not coming off. Whatever paint they use on that is absolutely amazing. But some of the pictures and everything that are all over it. But like I said, because it's connection to the Pirate Thomas II from Rhode Island, it is unique, and it's something. It's the highlight of some people, a lot of people's visit, to go and then see this gigantic thing, because it's not the wooden, round top ones that you might see on in every pirate movie that's around. You can see that there's these gigantic things. We still have the key to lock it, and the lock is on top on it. There's a separate box on the inside that's got a key as well for other important things that are kept in there. But it's absolutely brilliant.
And the display is cut away so you can actually touch the chest.
Yeah, and not the Thomas II one, but there's the other one, the other Rotterdam chest, just so people can actually touch one, right? And it's just about as old. So you're talking about 400 years old, right? And so, or just over 400 years old. And the way we've designed it, there's two guys that are in there digging, and we've got sound of them digging to bury it. So, and the chest is right there, but we've got it so that it's coming out of the glass so that you can actually touch, a 400-year-old chest. So that's again part of the interactive part that we want people to experience, this stuff.
We have a quick question from Dirty Paul's Detecting.
Yeah.
He's out of Tampa, and he wanted to know, at the Pirate Museum, other than the coins, I know you have coins for sale. Do you have any other artifacts for sale over there?
No.
Just those coins?
Yeah, just the coins, and those we were selling on consignment with Captain Fizz. So Fizz actually would provide those to us, and then I take them, inventory them and stuff, and then so as we sell them, then we
Get more.
pay him back. So, but he was our supplier, and so well, it sounds like a dealer, right? So
Yeah. Do you have quite a few of those coins left?
Taj Mahal coins, yes. The 1715 fleet coins that we had, not many at all. We've got an Escudo, two Escudo coin, and then we've got, I think, 3 8 real coins, and that might be it, because unfortunately Fizz passed away before we were able to get any more from
Get
him.
more. No, we understand that.
Yeah. The 2 Escudo, that's a gold coin, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So what is the price on that? I'm just curious. Do you know?
If I'm selling it to you, or you're buying it from the museum? Yeah.
Spoken like a true pirate.
Yes.
Like a pirate.
So, I think the price on that hasn't changed, right? So it's still 6,200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6,200.
$6,200.
Get it, Phil, man. That's that's chump change for you.
Yeah, that's for you. And thank you, Joe, for coming on here and helping me do this. This has been fun so far. So, are we ready to do the other book? We are. Okay.
This one is Uncharted Waters.
And Phil, you need
Yes.
to put a new thing there, hashtag with a new comment, because I know people have been saying here in the chat, you hit that button by accident. We understand that. So for this one, do it so everybody can get involved in it.
No, we're going to do the
3 or 4 names that flew through there.
No, we're going to do the whole thing all over again. It's going to be hashtag Captain CAPT Fizz. Let me add it to the screen. We're going to do it the same way, hopefully. And make sure you put that in there, hashtag Captain Fizz. And hopefully it'll do it. So I'm not a professional at this. I'm just.
No, you're learning. We all are.
Yeah.
So everybody's starting to put it in the chat. That's perfect.
Yeah, do it again. It won't duplicate it, but do it again. And we'll give them a few minutes to do that. and I'll see if I can get it done. Oh, I have one question coming through. How much does it cost to go to the Pirate Museum?
$19.99.
$19.99.
That's a bargain.
It is, and they're going to get educated on pirates and treasure and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna learn more about pirates than you even thought you had a question about it. So it's like you might not have thought to ask anything, but guess what? You're gonna leave and you're gonna learn a lot. So
They also have a little treasure hunt. They give where you go through the museum and you're finding.
yeah, we have what's called discovery drawers, and so we give you a map, and the discovery drawers are 12 artifacts that we've put in a drawer. So you've got to look for a symbol of skull and crossbones, and then you can open that drawer and then learn about a different artifact. So it's a different way to put more things on display, but it's a fun way also to get you into the museum, into the different parts. Because say you were in Rogue's Tavern, and you might not have walked up and then really looked at all the rum bottles, rum onion bottles and stuff, and then drinking implements and everything else. But you're doing this treasure hunt, so you found that. Now you look up and you're like, oh, look at all this other cool stuff. So it really does good that way. But it gets people in there, especially it gives younger kids something really to go look for and stuff, and then really be more excited about going into the museum. So that gives their parents a little break because they can help them go along and then learn something as well. So
To me, the coolest thing is when people come out and they're like, oh my gosh, we had no idea it was going to be so great.
oh right, yeah, yeah. There's
Matt, you work there?
what's
You obviously work for the museum, Matt?
yes, I'm the curator.
Okay, perfect. That way, the folks that may stop in, they can put a name with the face, and you're the curator, so that's beautiful. Perfect.
Yeah, it looked like we had a question. What's the best time to visit?
10 o'clock.
10 in the morning, right when we open. That's the truth, And then because when you do come in and it's not packed with people, because there are months where we will be packed. You actually get a chance to hear the soundtracks that are in each room. As you walk into Port Royal, you hear horses clomping along, and then seagulls, and then people talking, and like just like a business, right? You go into the captain's cabin, you can hear the ship creaking as if you're underway, and stuff, and you really can get a better idea of, or it adds to the feeling. I'll say that. And so if you come, also, nobody's going to be in your way. You're going to have time to look at everything and take your time.
There's a question from My Blessed Adventures. If you wish to take your time, how long to enjoy it? You're not scurried through there. Is it like when you go in the museum, the folks follow a guide, or is it something you can walk through at your own pace?
You walk through at your own pace, and it's designed to be that way. And so when you come, you can also come and go till we close. So from 10 to 7. And so you get a chance, if you wanted to do something else and then come back and then look at some more stuff, you can do that as well. If you take the time and you read everything and then go through it, I've had people that have taken 3 hours going into it. Most people, the average time that they're in there is usually about 45 minutes. But they're obviously they're not reading everything, but they're looking at it, so you'll see it. You just might not get a chance to read all that stuff. So I would say 45 minutes to an hour is the average time that people spend there.
No, that's good.
Cool. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and try to do this again.
Yeah, now you just hit that button again. Draw. You got it. You can do it.
Hey, I hit the draw button. It don't work that way. So we'll go back here, and then we'll and maybe not. Well, wait a minute. Let me go back here, and we'll hit draw, and then we'll hit view and shipyard. There we go. I got it.
Got it.
Woo! Digging Canuck. I know, Liz.
Congratulations, Liz.
Congratulations.
Yes. Awesome.
That's our Canadian friend.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. She's up the road. Did I mention what Tom Becker said? I stopped there in 2023 and it was an amazing experience. I'll go back again. Yeah, and Tom was there from Ohio. So
But if someone's to plan a trip, the actual fort is just right across the street.
and what fort is that? What's the name of it?
At the Castillo de San Marcos.
Castillo de San Marcos.
Castillo de San Marcos. And so,
St. Augustine, the St. Augustine Fort.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and so that was built starting in 1672, and it was completed in 1695. And it's really unique because it's not made of concrete or stone; it's made of coquina, which means little shells. Because the Spanish needed something, and there was no stone quarries around here, but they learned from the local native population that they used what was called this coquina. And so you take it, it took about a year, I think, to make a brick out of it. And so it's just cement, but with the little shells, when a cannonball hits it, all those little shells absorb the impact. So there are cannonball dents in it every time that it's gotten hit. And stuff. And so you can see how that thing has lasted the whole time. It never was able to get destroyed. And so with that, when that was built, pirates kind of stopped coming here. They would avoid it. And this town is, it's been raided before, but it's never been completely destroyed, especially since that fort was built. And it was built in large part because pirates kept attacking. And so when a pirate named Robert Searles came by and burned the town, the Queen Mariana of Spain was sick and tired of English pirates attacking her town. So she authorized them to build the castle. So and it is a castle. It does have a moat around it. Of course, it's dry now, but and so that was their name, the Castillo de San Marcos.
Yeah, I remember going there many, many moons ago when with my family on a vacation to St. Augustine, and I remember going in that fort.
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
go there when they open. I think they're open 9 to 5. Go there at 9 because then you won't be dying of heat exhaustion inside there, and then come right across the street. Just take the crosswalk right over, then come into the Pirate Museum at 10. And like any pirate ship, we are air conditioned, so you will have a chance to cool off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So what kind of treasure have you found? I know what Fred's found. So Matt, what kind of treasure have you found?
I found I think it was like a little kid's hat pin one time or something. No, I just find junk. Yes. I mean, I'll go out there because I enjoy going out there, especially at sunrise and going out there just on the beach and then finding stuff. A lot of the things that I'll find are implements or pieces, old nails that were, maybe from ships or something. But the coolest thing that I found actually didn't involve a metal detector. It was a wooden piece of planking with wooden nails in it. So, they had wooden nails before metal because then those would absorb the water and that would make the tight fit. And so I found one of those, but that was just me walking on the beach. So as far as that, I have not found anything cool at all. So.
Well, you just haven't been hunting enough. You got to go back more.
True.
Yeah.
And find a place that hasn't been just beach replenished. So.
Right. I think that's Fred was talking about that earlier. You guys got a lot of replenishment, a lot of sand on the beach.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of sand on Gulf Boulevard here in St. Pete area. So most of our beaches are pretty much shut down or closed for sure. So let's let's talk about some more of now you have mentioned the Atocha. You have Atocha stuff there, I guess, lent from their museum.
Yeah, from the museum in San Sebastian. So with Nicole Johansson, Mel's granddaughter, she runs that place, and so we have several items that are on loan from them: a silver bar, several coins, and then other pieces of the ship, like an iron rigging piece and stuff, just to add to. We could have a display that talks about the Atocha and stuff. So it's nice that we actually have Atocha artifacts for that display. So.
Right. Now you guys are a lot north of the 1715 plate fleet, correct?
Yeah, about 4 hours, I think, is
No, 2.5 hours.
2.5.
2.5, yeah.
2.5.
Northern part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any shipwrecks out close to where you're at?
Not a lot. We have, near us, you occasionally get like a wooden dugout canoe or something, or if there are shipwrecks that they found, like they found one just across the river. They're not, 1800s necessary, or they might be 1800s. But there's nothing really significant. But what's kind of neat is you can go to the lighthouse, where they have a maritime museum there, but they also do the maritime preservation. And so when Fizz was working with was it John Matera, and they were going to be diving on the Concepcion this year, and anything that they recovered from that wreck was going to be brought to the lighthouse so that they could do the preservation of those artifacts and stuff. So, that's still going on as far as I know. And so, when it does happen, it's going to be neat to go and then actually watch the preservation happening over there.
Oh, yeah, that would be really cool. Well, guys, it looks like our hour is just about up. It kind of flew by. So I want to thank you guys for coming on here and sharing your experiences with Captain Fizz and with the Pirate Museum there in St. Augustine. That's just awesome, and appreciate you giving away the books too.
Yeah,
I know
thank you, guys.
members are going to love that for sure. So thank you, Brad and Matt, for coming on here, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you to my many members on there. We really appreciate you. Did you have anything to say, Joe? Add to it?
No, I just wanted to reiterate to all of the viewers that this, unfortunately, Jeff is still without power. So let's say a prayer for him again, that him and Susan are going to be with power shortly. And thanks for everybody that's viewing for your patience, because this is something that Jeff has always done with, scheduling everything and working the bells and whistles on here. So I'm sure by next Monday we'll have this down packed for sure. And
I hope so.
Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys, and thank you, Jocelyn, for putting up with me tonight because I was a little stressed here. I had to walk to the back and print out how to do the giveaway because I forgot how to do it because I hadn't done it in at least a year. So thank you guys for coming on here. Appreciate it. And hopefully you'll come back again in the near future when Jeff gets you on the schedule for sure.
Take care of all you pirates out there.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Matt. Thank
Right,
you,
thank you.
Fred. Good seeing you again, brother.
Good seeing you guys. And I want to remind folks to come on next week because we're next Saturday, we have the Mind Lab days in the shop. And when you're there, be sure to pick up calendar and enter for a drawing there. And then, of course, on Monday night, we're going to away another metal detector, the Mind Lab Elite. And with that, I'm going to say rest in peace, Carl Fismer, Captain Carl. And thank you guys and good night.
All right. Night.
Good night. Take care, guys.
Uh-huh.